key question that I wanted to discuss with you today is, what do those entrepreneurs that are already in the business for a while do? You know, especially those who jumped on with me onto Amazon since 2014 or 15, the gold rush started, right? And many of us jumped on the train. But we are all entrepreneurs and we are very, how to say, jumpy. It's hard to stick with the same thing for a long time. So I wanted your perspective, how to try, and should we even stick with the same thing? You know, is it time to sell? Like, what we do? We are like 6-7 figure seller right now, let's say, and people who are watching, most of us are like that. So what's the state right now? Do we continue creating beautiful space around us and continue the same thing, but it gets a little bit boring, you know? So how do we make it interesting? What do you do personally? I'm curious about that.
You know, Amazon has been such a wild ride since I started my first Amazon business at the end of 2012. And like you said, you know, it's been the gold rush. And then basically, as of the last 18 months, there's been a bit of a plateau effect across many sellers where people feel like they're working hard, and they're just not seeing that same spike in growth year over year, or that same easy ability to rank products. And it's like, well, this is a common trend in business, which is you have this peak and then you have a plateau, and then sometimes you have a dip and sometimes you have another peak, and we're not sure where Amazon is going to go. And should you continue in the direction of a business if it's working? Yes. And here's why. Because people forget, after they've been in a business for a while. I've been running my own businesses since 2005. So I've been doing this for a long time. I have 100 team members. My companies do well over 25 million a year. I started as a solopreneur by myself with no money, not funded, working a full-time job. So I've really traveled the path of kind of every stage of entrepreneurship to now being a CEO of 3 different companies, one of them 8 figures, 2 7 figures, having a bunch of team members. And I can tell you, people forget how hard it is to start something. You think, oh, you know, this is boring, it's monotonous, I don't like it, I'm going to go start something new. There's a saying in the South of the United States called, feed your stallions and starve your ponies. Something is working. I don't really like that analogy, but it makes a good point.
The ponies. Why the ponies?
Point. Don't starve the ponies. I'm not for that. But my point is, if something is working, keep pushing it. Push it as hard. Push that snowball. Take whatever energy that it has, whatever money it's making, put it right back into it. Work a side hustle to pay your bills and just keep pushing, because that thing is your most valuable asset, because you could sell it one day. And over 50% of the money you will make from a company comes the day you sell it. It does not come from the cash flow you pull out of it every month. And people are not thinking about that. They're thinking about having to run the business and the monotony of it, and they only get a little bit of money from it. They're not thinking about the asset value and how hard it is to start something. And generally, if you're burnt out, it's not a function of the business practice. It's a function of you're not taking care of yourself physically. You're not moving your body. You're not meditating. You're not taking care of your emotional life, where you don't have hobbies. You're not investing in your social life. You're not eating well. You're like doing these things that result in lethargy in your physical and mental body, and then you feel that in the business. But it is not a function of the business. It's a function of your own behaviors, your own habits outside of your business that are creating this state of being that is not serving you in your business. And so I would say, if you're feeling burned out, start working only 4 days a week. Use those other 3 days to invest in your relationship, invest in your social life, go get a hobby, take care of your body, eat well, sleep well, like do the things that cultivate energy, and then use that energy for your business.